Take two, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Probably should have clipped out that little bit of music at the very beginning, but that's okay. For whatever reason, it does not save your preference that you don't want the mall music at the beginning. So, we are back at it, back for week 6, and I will be honest, not a huge amount really happens this week. If you were to pick an episode to skip, this would probably be the one. But I will attempt to regale. We are coming up here on Christmas 2025. It is currently December 22nd at time of recording. And I did do something I said I wouldn't do, and I went and recorded episode 8 before I did this. Because, holy shit, the update just looked amazing. It's, from what I can tell, there's not a whole lot mechanical that changed. They did add in a few new items, but really it's the decor. And it looks phenomenal, so I could not help myself. As soon as I booted it up and saw like just a little bit of what was going on, I was like, hang on. We gotta stop. We need to record this shit because this looks fucking awesome. So we are going to go through the entire week just so everyone has an idea of, you know, what I did, just in case anyone's playing and wants a sort of a tutorial in what not to do. Don't build the goddamn tech store so early. In fact, don't build most of the stores as early as I did. There are definitely better stores to pick. That said, my wife and I were just having a discussion because she watches these, and she was saying, you know, it's weird to me that there are staples of the American mall that are missing. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I've never been out of the country, but comedians and whatnot have always joked that malls are the true definition of America. They're the defining factor of America. George Carlin once said that that's all America is one gigantic shopping mall. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would, at that juncture, want to assume that a shopping mall in this fashion, with all the different kinds of goods. Like I've seen clips from YouTubers who have visited other countries, and it's like, yes, in this country in Asia, there's a huge sort of like what we would consider a mall, but it was entirely tech stores. So I don't know that this version of the mall exists elsewhere. So I'm going to go off of the possibly wrong assumption that this is a very American thing and talk about it from the lens of an American mall goer. Unfortunately, again, I am not a fan. But we were talking about staples that are noticeably absent in this game, and maybe they're on the horizon. The roadmap does not talk about what other stores are coming, just that there will be more stores, and I believe a third floor, anchor stores, things of that nature. So the biggest mall, it might be back to being the biggest mall in the country. I know it has this big dick measuring contest with a few other malls, but King of Prussia. The King of Prussia Mall, I believe, is the biggest in the country at the moment. And that would be the mall that I have the most experience with recently. The mall that I would have grown up with is all but defunct at this point. I believe I talked about that and how Boscov's is kind of slowly grown to incorporate more of the mall, and Sears is dead. So, by the way, the footage will be sped up now until the final 5 minutes of the video. Feel free to look away. You probably already noticed that since I missed it and it started about 30 seconds ago. So, some of them, some of the staples that we were talking about is, like a bookstore's noticeably absent. And then we kind of went back and forth like, well, Borders is defunct, and really the only big store is Barnes & Noble, but they're not in a lot of malls. They tend to be near malls. But there's not too many places where they are actually within the mall itself, to the best of my knowledge. I know of one example because it was right next to the Sears at the mall that I worked at. And it has since become like a pseudo anchor store. Even though it's not a true anchor, it does have both an entrance to the outside and an entrance to the mall, and is acting as the anchor for that side because nothing has taken the real estate that Sears left behind. But a bookstore is noticeably absent because even though the big chains tend to not be there, like Books A Million is in a lot of malls. And if it's not a Books A Million, it tends to be these smaller mom and pop shops that open bookstores in the mall. And so a bookstore being absent is strange. The food choices, like, I'm fine with there being like a finer dining establishment, right? Like sushi. But the fact that there's not a pizza place, like Sbarro's is synonymous with mall, at least on the East Coast here, right? So you've got Sbarro's, so you don't have a pizza place, you don't have any sort of bookstore. There's no Bath and Body Works. And like some of these, like GameStop, okay, we do have a game store. King of Prussia having the ginormous Dick's Sporting Goods. Okay, well, we have a sports store. KB Toys, which I believe is fully defunct, used to be in a lot of the malls. We do have a toy store. But something like Hot Topic, Bath and Body Works, and you can't tell me that the weird little cosmetic shop is taking the place of that. But there are just so many staples of the mall, and them being absent, especially since malls themselves have sort of lost a lot of their relevance. It's weird to me that you would make a mall simulator and then leave out certain things. I mean, honestly, I would expect to see a Panda Express before I expect to see a burger joint in the mall. Let's be honest. And again, like, I hate it when there's like one person left and he's just like, I'm gonna ride the escalator up, I'm gonna go and do this one thing, then I'm gonna ride the escalator back down. It takes so long to actually close the mall on any given day, to the point where a lot of times I will start the day and then walk away and do something else and come back. So this original recording I did have to clip some stuff out because it was just like watching the CCTV in the arcade for like 40 minutes. Like, I cut that. There's another spot where I was just like, I'm gonna stand next to the guy. I'm gonna stand next to the guy here at the end in the cinema and just watch the world go by from there. And I think that was going for like 30 minutes. So I did cut out large chunks of time there, and the video was still over 3 hours long. Will say this was a huge mistake that I made, and this I think I will blame on just poor programming in the game's part. But if you go into shopping and you buy, let's say you just want the storage racks, and so you go to the sports store and you buy their storage rack and you add it to the cart, but you don't buy it yet. You go down to the toy store, you find their storage rack, you add it to the cart, so on and so forth. When you hit buy, I don't know if it makes them all the first one you picked or if it makes them all the one that you happen to be on when you hit purchase, but they will all be the same storage rack and they are not interchangeable. They all have logos on them for what store they have to be part of. So don't do that. Be aware of that. That was an oopsie on my part. So I spent decent money, like just buying a shitload of storage racks for the sports store. Another mistake that just cropped there, I saw that I did not have any of a certain item in stock, so I bought it. And didn't pick up on the fact that the worker was just carrying it straight to the back and not putting it out. And I'm going to do that a couple more times, I think. I end up having something like 8 boxes of this one fucking product that I just never put on the shelf. So the workers never put it on the shelf. It just kept going into the back room. So definitely something to be mindful of. That said, I won't talk too much about it. I don't think I talked about it the first time until recording for episode 8 as I'm running around the mall. So I don't want to go into too much detail, just to keep things mostly in order, but I did end up running the D&D session. I might have talked about it in 5, but I'm fairly certain it was in 8. Again, that's why I don't like recording these out of order. But I will say that I feel like it was a rather large success. Somebody called the twist about 20 minutes in. No, it was longer than 20 minutes. I'll say we were like an hour and a half in. But still, they called the twist way before the twist was happening. I'm still bitter about that. Speaking of footage I probably could have cut out. But it is kind of neat to watch all the people coming and going. Again, I don't know what level you unlock the different shops at, right? Like, I don't have quite that much knowledge of the game to where I have it all committed to memory. The cafeteria is amazing, and I wish I had it sooner. I know I had the ability to unlock it earlier. I'm fairly certain I had the ability to unlock it earlier than I actually do in this game. Cafeteria is absolutely phenomenal, and I wish I had unlocked it earlier. I wish I had held off on the tech store because it's too goddamn expensive. But the cafeteria is amazing. It really should be more of a bakery than a cafeteria. It's a lot of cakes and breads and muffins. Like, it's a bakery. It's not a cafeteria. The arcade is phenomenal. Love the arcade. I wish I had known about the fucking claw machines earlier. There are just so many things that when I go again, I'm going to do so much better. Or at least I hope that I will. Now, that said, I did, because of the holiday update, and I did not wish to record out of order. Now let's watch this jackass come back up the fucking escalator. Oh no, now we're gonna actually restock stuff. May as well, since he's running around. Because I don't like to record these out of order, I wanted to actually start a new game and learn from my mistakes and continue playing, because I will say, like, I really want to keep playing this. And at the moment, I'm stuck mostly because I want to finish out these recordings and get them uploaded, because I'm also running out of space on my computer. Like right now, I'm sitting at 232 gigs left. I have the footage of 3 episodes. And so obviously I need to keep that footage intact until I've got everything exported from Premiere. And let me pull up the folder that has all the unedited videos. They're running somewhere between 70 and 100 gigs of a piece for the footage. And then when I export them, they do get slightly compressed in file size, but not by much. They come out about 40 to 50 gigs. So for one video, I might have 150 gigs dedicated just to that one video. And it's a 2 terabyte hard drive that I'm also using for photography, for some of my Steam library ends up on there, because the 1 terabyte drive is just not enough with the size of games these days. So definitely need more storage space. And yeah, like it just takes so much holding on to these. And as soon as I get them uploaded to YouTube, I can always re-download them myself. So I purge them from my hard drive. But I keep seeing the hard drive, especially since I have monitors on the Stream Deck that I use. So I know that my 2 terabyte hard drive only has 12% free. It has about 232 gigs free. My C drive, which is 1 terabyte, only has about 41 gigs free. So my C drive couldn't even handle one video right now. Not that I put them there anyway. I always put them onto my secondary storage drive, but it's absolute insanity, the amount of space that these take up. So that's the other reason that I need to get these recorded, get these exported and uploaded, because I'm just running out of space. That said, one of my biggest gripes, and I haven't looked into this quite as much as I should, but I really need to get to the bottom of this and figure it out. When I export from Adobe Premiere, sometimes it works perfectly, especially if it's right after a reboot. And sometimes it'll encode the first, 5 minutes. Sometimes it will encode, if it's an hour-long video, it will encode the first 58 minutes, and then it will crap out at the end. So then I have this file that seems fine, and I have to scrub all the way through it to make sure, and I'll get to, you know, that whatever time code it was, and notice, oh God, like, all right, now it's fragging out saying it can't recognize the file, the codec's not correct. And so I thought it was RAM or RAM related, because I did buy this computer back in 2020. So this computer had 16 gigs of RAM, and I've just kind of left it there. So I did upgrade to 32 gigs, thinking that that might be the issue. Because I know Adobe products are very RAM intensive. I upgraded the RAM right before the market exploded for RAM, with Corsair dropping out of the consumer RAM market. But that has not fixed my issue. I've tried direct encoding from Adobe Premiere. I've tried sending it to the Adobe Media encoder. And either way, I end up with the same issue where 1 out of every 4 will encode properly. So really need to get to the bottom of that, because that's also putting a damper into the workflow, where I can set something to export, and it takes, I want to say, about an hour and a half per video. And so I'll export them, leave the computer alone for an hour and a half, come back and see, oh, well, actually, it stopped encoding after 5 minutes, but it still took the rest of the time. So you have a file you just can't do anything with except delete, and then go back in, start it again. And it's not like there's any sort of heavy effects going on, right? Like there's an effect on each audio track. Set the music to be a balanced background volume. Mute the video footage where I'm running at 300% speed, so it's not insanity inducing. And balance out the audio and put an active noise gate on the voiceover segment. That's it. Like, there's not a whole lot going on. And even if I do no effects, it has the same chances to fail. So really need to figure that one out. And once I can, in fact, get that figured out, I feel like my workflow will go much, much smoother, because I can just have everything sitting in the media encoder, fire it off, and let it encode, 3, 4, 5 videos at a time and be done with it. But at the moment, I can't even do one video at a time consistently. So that is definitely putting a bit of a damper on my plans. Because the sooner I can get these set up and uploaded and removed from my computer, the sooner I can record more, and I really want to record more. I also need, so if I go to channel content, so uploading these on Mondays, uploading the bookstore, new release Tuesdays. And for the bookshop simulator, I'm actually out of footage. I have one that goes live tomorrow on the 23rd. And then I'm suddenly without. So that is definitely something that I need to correct. I need to record more for the bookshop. I want to keep going with Teddy's Haven. My problem is that I'm having the most fun with the mall, and I just want to keep doing this. And then I have other games that I also would love to record and do all that fun stuff with. And I'm just not able to, with Adobe Premiere not functioning properly and just the limited storage capacity. So between all of that, it's definitely slowed down my my ability to produce these. Holy shit, ladies and gentlemen, I might have gone down a little bit of a rabbit hole, and then the holidays happened. So I started recording this on December 22nd. It is now December 28th. So in that time, Christmas has happened. Merry Christmas to anyone that celebrates. Happy holidays to everyone who celebrates something different or does not celebrate anything at all. It is still a time of holidays. There's not much I can do about that. That being said, I went down a bit of a rabbit hole because I was talking about how Adobe Premiere has been giving me agita when I'm trying to update or trying to encode things, and it's super hit or miss. And so, of course, I got every answer under the fucking sun because I stopped the recording there, and I'm like, well, let me see if I can't look it up real quick because now it's going to bother me. And yeah, so I came up with a lot of different ideas. Upping the RAM obviously did not help. Some of it was saying, well, it might be that it's, thermal throttling your computer. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. It's pretty well climate controlled in here. And it doesn't make sense that it can encode an hour and a half fine, but then if I try and encode that video again, it frags after, 5 minutes, or it frags 35 minutes in, or hell, it might get to the very end and then die off in the last couple frames. So somewhere, I think it's really just the Adobe being shit at clearing the RAM as it's using it, or clearing the cache. So I'm going to try clearing the cache. I'm going to try doing the software encoding instead of the video card encoding. We'll see if that does any better. Also running, just picked up a mount for my monitor because I have one of the old ultra wides. It's a Westinghouse, and I think they only ever made one ultra wide. I bought it. The first one was DOA. I RMA'd it, got a second one. Second one showed up Easter Sunday, delivered by the post office. Anyone from the States knows that that's weird. Anyone outside of the States, you can pretty much just infer that that's weird. So, got a second one, basically. Sent the first one back, got a second one. And then it was immediately not available to order anymore. I have not seen it since. But it had one of the shittiest fucking monitor mounts I've seen, where it had the tripod mount, basically, but it came forward so far that on my desk, the monitor itself was just barely on the back of the desk. And then the front two legs came out so far that my keyboard was held at a weird angle. There was like no room at all on my desk. So, and I've had this monitor now, oh God, 2018, give or take. It's been a goodly while. But I've had this monitor for a long ass time. I got it not super long, I guess about a year or so after my roommate at the time bought me an Asus 28-inch. So I've had this Asus 28-inch gaming monitor and this Westinghouse 34-inch ultra-wide for a very long time now. And the Westinghouse, or the Asus sits really close to the desk. The Westinghouse sat a bit higher. And all that is to say that my desk real estate was shit. So we bought a mount for the TV, and while I was buying the mount for the TV, I was like, you know what? I use a triple monitor mount at work. What if I buy a dual mount for my monitors here? Westinghouse attaches no problem, easy peasy, got that set up. The Asus is not mountable. So now I just have a fucking monitor arm sticking up off to the side. My Asus is nice and low to the desk, and my Westinghouse is at the appropriate height. Oh, it's always something. So yes, the holidays just went by, and I am still in the fallout from that. The apartment is a mess at the moment since we just basically ripped the living room apart, mounted the TV, mounted the new sound bar, cleared off the actual entertainment center because the TV was positioned in such a way over the record player that the record player couldn't really open. And we did not have speakers for it anyway. So now we have speakers for the record player, speakers for the TV. TV is mounted on the wall. And that was an ordeal and a half because my little 1 horsepower Ryobi drill did not have the gumption to actually screw this long ass screw into the stud. Have the stud finder, have the laser level. Did not have a 13 millimeter socket adapter for my drill. The kit that I had bought a couple years ago only went up to 12. Hooray me. So we just had a lovely ice storm yesterday. A friend of ours who lives across the street was like, hey, I gotta go to Starbucks anyway. I'm fucking jonesing for coffee. There's a Lowe's right there. Do you want me to run into Lowe's? Yes. Runs into Lowe's, grabs us the adapters that we need. And they're nice. They're magnetic. They're awesome. Hook it into the drill. Get the screw on there. Dies halfway in. Like, what the fuck? Maybe it's the battery. Swap in a brand new battery. Hit it again. Nope, that's not doing anything. Mess with that for a little bit. Call a buddy of mine that works with me. And he had gotten called into work for snow and ice removal. But he's like, yeah, I'm here. What do you need? And I'm talking to him. He's like, all right, I'll be right over. He comes over. He looks at it. He, checks the drill. He's like, your battery's dead. I'm like, I guarantee you it's not. He's like, well, then your drill just doesn't have it. Goes back, grabs an impact drill, comes in, Okay, that's done. We got those two in there. That's not coming off the fucking wall. So, TV's hung. Hooray, hooray, hurrah. Could use much shorter screws for the soundbar mount, so that was easy with my drill. Bzz, bzz, done, done. Got most of it wired. We still have to wire the back two speakers. Need to figure out where I'm going to pull power from for them. But everything for the moment works. Just the living room is in shambles. So if you made it this far, I do appreciate y'all being here. Don't think that I don't. I'm hoping that these changes I've made will allow me to push out. I don't want to say push out content at a faster pace because I'm still very much adhering to the schedule that I had set, at the very least, from all Mondays and new release Tuesdays. But I'm hoping that this will make things less of a headache on my end. I'll be able to clear out the backlog of recording that I have to do, clear up some space on the hard drives, get everything set, and then I can just push forward from there into the new year. So definitely looking forward to that. And that's it. I am not going to lie. I did all of that messing about with mounts and whatnot today. It is currently 1:13 in the morning, and I am definitely winding down. But I've got, 15 minutes or so? I can push through for 15 minutes. That ain't no big deal. As we're just spending all of our hard-earned money here. Let me try and scroll ahead and find where we are in the actual recording. We are still at... Oh, there's the 300%. I was about to say, it doesn't feel like we're at 300%, but yeah, it does. Now it absolutely does. Let's see here. Where did I... Was it 5 minutes at the end? Yeah, give or take 5 minutes right at the end. We'll be back to normal speed. So I will try and alert people when we get there, but just know 5 minutes before the end, that's where the speed goes back to normal time. Other than that, I have to say, not a whole lot new. Got to see both sides of the family for the holidays. Get to be off, which in retail would be unheard of. In the AV world, ain't a whole hell of a lot going on. Now, if I were a DJ, there'd be a lot of weddings and shit because people love getting married around Christmas and New Year. And in fact, I think our event center is hosting a wedding on New Year's Day. But weddings want DJs. They don't typically want screens, projectors, the kind of stuff that I set up. I am hoping in the new year that we can get a new mixing board. We're running entirely analog right now. I would love to get a Behringer X32. I'd love to get a digital mixing board, get a bit more skill in my repertoire. I feel like anything that I can do to make myself more flexible in the AV space while I've got the option, definitely more power to me. And not gonna lie, I did just pause that recording again and take a looky-loo, and my God, there was a lot of standing around, so I did just cut a goodly bit of that. I probably could have gone back and cut some of the standing around earlier, but that's all right. My silly ass still has not realized that these machines are king. We need more machines. But who knows? This is the end of the final day. Maybe this is where I figure it out. We're gonna see that together here. We're gonna see if I learn my lesson here. It's entirely possible that I do not. Filling up the soda machine, making sure that that's all set. Filling up the ATM. Filling up the candy machines. Come on, the license is right there. Yes. Perfect. If you guys want the cheat code, it's these fucking Ferrero Rocher looking things. You buy a box for $30, or for $300 rather. You get 20 in a box. You sell them for $100 a piece. In one go, you pay off the candy machine, you pay off the box, and you still get $1,200 profit. The candy machine is king. Second license for the card shop, or for the card machine. Hooray, hooray, hurrah. And in fact, you might have noticed it by the sound effects, we are back to normal time. Just occurred to me that the sound effects were back. Now, these new machines, they're alright. Or the new cards, rather. They're alright. They're not spectacular. The final license for the candy machine and the final two license, really everything for the claw machine. The final two licenses definitely make the claw machines worth it. Also, I might have said it in this video, I might say it in a later video, but I really wish I could have more than one save game in this. I tried to have another save game. No, this is like old school Pokemon. You can only have one save. But if you have made it this far into the video and you're like, man, when I open my mall, I'm going to do so many things better. Yeah, claw machines. Claw machines are king. Candy machines second. Especially, you know, once you have that third license. And photo machines, I would say, are third. These snack machines, eh. The drink machine, eh. Maybe the final licenses make them better, but I doubt it. So, final candy machine license. Get that. It's awesome. Pays for itself instantly. Claw machines. Absolutely amazing. Photo booths. Those three, get those as early as you can. Don't get the tech store. Tech store is not worth it this early in the game. Whenever the cafe opens, you bum rush that cafe. You get the cafe up and running as soon as humanly possible. Although that said, for all the mistakes that I've made, we're not doing bad. We could be doing better, but we're not doing bad. I have no earthly idea why I'm carrying this Kirby box around with me. I think I'm just making sure that all the people are out of the store. Because so often there are stragglers. Ended with a little bit of profit, not a huge amount, but ended with just enough. So I hope y'all have had fun with me on this journey. I know I have. I'll see y'all next time.